But as we wrap up the injury talk, at least for now, we talk to a head coach with a guy who has at least one player on his team with an injury that we need to be concerned about, receiver A.J. Green. The coach is Marvin Lewis. The team is the Cincinnati Bengals. Are the Hard Knocks cameras and microphones rolling right now as we speak, Coach?
Good morning. How are you, Mike?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good.
Will this be on Hard Knocks? Will this scene be on Hard Knocks?
No, I don't know that either of us rise to the level that they're concerned.
What if we get into a big fight or something and you start yelling? Does that end up on Hard Knocks?
Well, it could.
All right. Well, now, how does this work? This comes up every year when a team's on Hard Knocks. How does it work? Do you have the ability to turn to the cameras and say, don't use that? And do you have the ability when they edit it to say, I don't want that scene in there?
Well, I have the ability to know where the camera is if indeed I have to have a conversation that matters. And, because there's obviously certain things that are personal to us. But, you basically forget about the fact that every week when you do see the show, there are things that occur that you forgot, that you're just doing your job. And so you don't even realize that that's, be something they'd even be interested in. Because the producers, you have the on-site producers that are here that manage and make sure they have cameras and people moving and working all the time, and yet the show is basically produced back at NFL Films in New Jersey, so you have the producer back there.
Is there somebody with the team who's responsible for taking one last look at the final copy to make sure there's nothing in there that unduly embarrasses the team, any of the coaches, any of the players?
Right, there is. And, we more importantly is we don't want, there's certain things that are, to your football, that really pertain to our football terminology, things like that, that I would deem are important that way, that I want to make sure aren't being broadcast that way.
Have you noticed any of your players acting differently, performing differently, doing anything differently because of the cameras?
No, because they really don't realize, they don't know when the camera is on. The cameras are always on, guys, in the NFL. I mean, everything you always shoot is on video, so it doesn't matter that way. And, there may be an occasional camera in a meeting room, obviously, that's not generally there, but most of the meeting room cameras are robotic cameras anyway, so everything is being recorded. Whether or not it's ever part of the thing, they'll never know. We're
talking to Bengals head coach Marvin Lewis, his team the subject of this year's Hard Knocks. And one of the most compelling scenes of the first episode involved the Oklahoma drills. First, explain what Oklahoma drills are, and are they always that intense even when the cameras aren't there filming every second?
It's always an intense. The Oklahoma drill is always very intense, and it's really the essence of football is a one man against another guy trying to make a block, shed a block, and tackle the guy with the ball. So it's something that since I've been here as the head coach, we've always began our first full padded practice of training camp at some point with, and goes back to my days with Bill Cowher and the Steelers.
How is Mike Zimmer, your defensive coordinator, not an NFL head coach by now?
Well, that's a great question, Mike. Mike Zimmer is very deserving of an opportunity to, and hopefully we'll continue to have success, and then Mike will have an opportunity to pick and choose from. So he's done a tremendous job in all his years in the National Football League, but particularly here since he's been our coordinator in 2008.
And with this opportunity again on Hard Knocks, second time in 4 years, you've got Zimmer, you've got your offensive coordinator, Jay Gruden, you've got Hugh Jackson, all being showcased. Do you worry that we showcase these guys a little bit too much? I may have a few jobs to fill come January, February, March, whenever.
Well, I'm of the belief, and again, it would causes me a lot of issue if I do lose coaches, and that's probably the biggest thing that all head coaches go through in the NFL. But I'm in belief that if you have deserving people and they get opportunity, it makes it that much easier for the guy that gets elevated into that spot or the new guy you bring into that spot. He knows there's opportunity here and opportunity to move up and move on, and it's great. It's great for your coaching staff, and it breeds for new blood. It breeds for new energy all the time.
Talking to Bengals head coach Marvin Lewis, and you guys are regarded now as an elite NFL team. I believe it. Many believe it. A lot of people picking you to go far this year. Are the expectations a little to the point where it makes you uncomfortable that that you really don't have anything you can point to help your guys get a chip on your shoulder. You're getting all the respect preseason this year that this team hasn't gotten in decades.
Well, yeah, Mike, I'm kind of uncomfortable with the fact we haven't done anything. And, we really have not done anything. We don't get to finish where we left off. I think we've improved the football team over this offseason. We're trying to, off the field, as far as abilities and so forth, but we're trying to improve it on the field now, and that's what this process is all about. I think we're making great strides in that direction, but, we get to go out there September 8th, beginning in Chicago, and have to prove it 1 week at a time.
How do you strike the balance between what the league requires coaches to disclose about player injuries, the bare minimum that you have to give, versus the expectation by fans and media to know more than just what's on that sheet of paper that is issued in the days leading up to a regular season game?
Well, I think the biggest thing that, and it's really worked well for me here, and it's probably something that I guess I've matured into, is generally our players know that they're not going to play until they can prove, number one, to our doctor and our therapist that they're ready to return to practice, and then secondly, that they prove to me that they can go out on the practice field and perform their job when Sunday rolls around. Because when you only have 46 players, it's very difficult to put a guy up and say he's ready to go, and then after 2 plays, he checks out of the game on you. So it's really been a good process for us here to go about it that way, and I understand that fans want to know more, and basically my answer is the first step in the process is the doctor and the medical people says he's okay to return to practice. The player proves he's ready to return to practice, and then secondly, my eyes in practice say, because my coordinators, they want the player, they want to know, but at the end of the day, I've got to balance that 46-man roster on Sunday, albeit special teams, offense, and defense.
What do you experience more, guys who you think maybe are ready but they're milking it, or guys who are trying to convince you they're ready to go even though you know they're not?
Guys that feel like they're ready to go and they're close and they're not quite there yet. So that extra week generally plays well for them. And we don't. If I've got a guy milking it, I've got the wrong group of people.
All right, last one for Bengals head coach Marvin Lewis. His team's the subject of this year's Hard Knocks on HBO. Finish this sentence: the Cincinnati Bengals will make it to Super Bowl 48 if.
If we score more points than the other team.
If we win the AFC Championship game, that's the easy answer. Yeah. We wish you all the best going forward, and thank you. Yeah, slam the phone down, like yell at me, and I want to make I was on Hard Knocks last week with Zimmer. Slam down the phone or something. Use the F word. Do you use that? A lot of your guys are using it. Are we going to hear you drop an F bomb this season?
I got fined by my nephew, I think $125 after the first episode. So I'm glad they didn't capture some of my finer moments this last time. I understand.
Well, there was some flying last night. Yeah, we appreciate your time. We wish you all the best. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, Mike. Thank you.
Marvin Lewis, Bengals head coach.